We came to market in November 2013 with the purpose of consolidating what is a highly fragmented digital learning industry. We're focused on one particular aspect of it, which is the corporate training market. And we brought a very capable professional services business called Epic to the market at that time. That was then merged with our first acquisition called Line Communications, and that formed our business that's now known as Leo. And since then, we've made 4 further acquisitions. I won't go through each one of them individually, but we've created a very broad range of capabilities. So we produce custom e-learning content for our customers. So if you're an automotive manufacturer and you want to launch a new car, you would come to an agency like us to create the launch process and the materials to train the workforce and the dealer sales force about how to sell the car. We work for the NHS, for the government, for large multinational confectionery companies, retailers, and a whole disparate range of organisations to deliver specific learning requirements. So we don't do generic, we don't publish content, we work specifically on bespoke assignments with our customers. That's one side of the business. In the latter couple of years, we have acquired software companies that provide us with the learning platforms and infrastructure that enable us to deliver that content. So in 2016, we bought a business called Rustici, which I would describe as the expert plumber of the industry. It makes content and platforms work well together. Lovely recurring revenue stream, very strong market position. And in the last couple of weeks, we've just bought NetDimensions, which was another AIM-listed company, which has its own learning and talent management platform. And that combination gives us a great breadth of capability. And I think we are in a position now where we're seen as a leading player in our industry. We're enjoying really good structural tailwinds. So the corporate learning market is pretty tepid growth. It's ranging various forecasts from 200 to $300 billion marketplace across the world, and it isn't growing fast at all. But what's happening inside it is the disruption, where what you're getting is a lot more spend on digital interventions and less spend on traditional face-to-face facilitated interventions, and that's the nexus at which we attack. So we're in a very fast-growing, interesting market space. So that's helpful. I think also it's really interesting that what we're trying to do is pretty unusual. I don't know of another organisation that is focused on trying to occupy this middle space between very large systems integrators and consulting firms at the top end who have e-learning as part of their overall consulting and strategic offering. And then at the bottom end, you've got many small-scale content and services companies that are, sub 5 or even 10 million euros or pounds revenue, and the market I think is looking for a larger, more substantial player, and we're occupying that middle sector at the moment. And that was always our goal, and I'm pleased that we've managed to achieve it, and we intend to just grow further in that sector. First of all, it adds that final pillar of capability. So we were very strong in content and professional services. We had an underlying software capability in both the multi-device authoring tool and the expert plumber of the industry in Rustici. But there was a rather obvious gaping hole. We didn't own our own proprietary platform. So NetDimensions fills that hole for us. And also what we find particularly attractive about it is it's a large organization. It's $25 million revenue. So it's not subscale by any means. There are a lot of small platform players, and we weren't particularly interested in acquiring one of those. It has a very high quality customer base. It has some particular specialisms in the compliance aspects of learning, in terms of the way the platform manages and verifies that learning, which we particularly like. And also we felt that there's a good chance with the business to re-engineer the model slightly. So we think it's the moment in time where we can actually structure the business in such a way that it can deliver really good EBITDA margins, which it hasn't done thus far. So that's a focus of our concentration going forward. So the 100-day plan is designed to ensure that we act appropriately, we learn properly before we make decisions, but we do act swiftly, because we recognise that when a business is acquired by another company, that it can be unsettling for staff, and that's our greatest concern, and indeed customers, but I think more so in this case staff. So we've made that very clear. We're communicating regularly about our plans, and we're in the research phase at the moment, and we are confident from what we've seen that we can achieve those cost savings and synergy savings through the integration process, and they'll come from many different directions. in terms of things that the business doesn't need to do anymore. It's delisting, for instance. That's a big cost saving. Removal of external contractors that we think can be done by internal roles, and other integration aspects with the LTG central services, which will bring savings in their own right. So we're confident in that regard. What we really find exciting is the change to the profile of our recurring revenue that this business brings to us. So we're going to be on a run rate basis a north of 50 million revenue business, sterling revenue business, and knocking on the door of 50% of that, about 47% will be recurring revenue, proper software, annual license recurring revenue, and we think that gives us great resilience and a really good balance to the quality of our earnings. We're very excited by our professional services business. It's a great route to market. We still want to go out and win 50 and 100,000 pounds content projects and services projects, and you win one, and then hopefully you do a great job and delight the customer, and you win another and another. And that's an important side of our business that we'll never move away from. But having it balanced with a much longer sales cycle, but longer customer relationship, recurring revenue, software license model, I think is a really sensible thing to do, which is why we've focused on mixing the business in the way that we have. Without question, the first one is our declaration that hopefully we've successfully integrated NetDimensions, and it's working well within the group. I think some indications of growth in that business, which I think will start to come through in the latter part of this year and into next year. There are some, we've embarked upon looking for more key strategic contracts to win, and I very much hope that we can start to share news of some of those with our investors in the next 6 to 12 months, and more growth. I think you'll see less acquisition growth and more organic growth, because this is a big acquisition and we need to bed it down properly.